finally got there, everything was in disarray. And what it is now, you have a starting 11 that can beat any team in the league. And then when I see Sancho playing for Dortmund, he's Tokyo drifting around people. I don't see him doing that when he plays for England, and that may be the coach's setup for. I love Man United, but not like I can't take a lesson from somebody else. Pick your team the way you pick your wife. You let love talk, you know? It sounds like the name some person's kid came up with. You socked it, you socked the ball, you know? It's growing for sure. Like, soccer is a sport, it's like softball. You don't know any professional softball players, but everybody plays it when they're younger. They just grow out of it. There's so many young Americans playing in the Bundesliga now. Pirlo's coaching and telling what to do. He's passing the ball to Ronaldo. Pulisic is at Chelsea. He might be their best player. It's great to see like American players playing in legit leagues and legit teams.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Coach Gerald Lami podcast. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gassed about this one. Also, my brother, he's a huge fan of my guest today. A man that's a legend in the entertainment business, especially in America. I want to introduce today Ian Edwards. Welcome, Ian. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
What up, fam? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just keeping healthy, keeping fit over here. How you been over there?
Pretty much trying to do the same. So you got a lot of time to like grow as a person if you choose to. So I think I'm kind of doing that. We'll see.
And as a creative, obviously, because you're a creative, you've done a lot of written work and huge shows and things like that. How has it been for you in terms of like having this moment? And you know, do you feel more creative, or do you feel like you're kind of stuck in one place?
You have moments of both. You know what I mean? But that's just like normal life. Like sometimes in normal life, I feel creative, or sometimes I have to motivate myself when I know I'm not. And then there's the times when I just don't. So I've been doing the same thing, you know, maybe in a different pattern, but but everything is more pronounced in this phase of thing that we're going through. So I think that's what it is. Like it's just more pronounced. Like you feel your creativity more when you are creative. When you're not creative, you feel the lack of it more. And you have to motivate, and I have to motivate myself more when the moments when I need to.
Nice, deep, man. It's deep. And how's the situation obviously over there in LA, like in terms of people? Are they really following the rules, or are they just doing what they want to do?
In LA, for the most part, like people are trying to, you know, everybody's going to cheat. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to try, you know, like even me, like at the beginning of quarantine, I was like, I never went outside without a mask. Nope. You know, always had protection on me. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I'll walk out the house, and the other day, I was like half a mile from the house. And it wasn't until I saw somebody look at me weird that I realized I didn't have the mask. You know what I mean? Like, and I was walking, and I was like, I had 3/4 of a journey left to go to get to the coffee shop, you know? So but I called a friend, or a friend called me. And then she brought me one. So I got lucky. But most of the time, I'll wear the mask anyway. Like I'm kind of a germaphobe. Like I stopped shaking people's hands when the weather changes in October. And it's fist bump time until summer.
Yeah. Nice.
And I always like started carrying hand sanitizer in the car, because when you're at the comedy club, you're shaking everybody's hands. And I just never wanted to like have the flu for Christmas. So I'm not gonna be laying in bed for like you get one Christmas vacation.
It's the good times.
I'm not gonna be laying in bed for it. So I just like it's all fist bump.
It's crazy
until the
though,
weather
isn't it?
gets better.
It's crazy how it's like the mask is like just become the normal now, where before, if you see anyone walking around with that, unless you're in Asia or anything like that, then you'll be asking questions like, what are you doing with that? Do you know what I mean? Unless you're the doctor. But yeah, it's just crazy how it's just like you said, you're walking down the road and people are looking at you funny. because you haven't got a mask on, which is,
Right.
it's a crazy world that we're living in. But it's the new age, and it's either you adapt to it or you get left behind.
Yeah, it's just a mask. A lot
Yeah.
of people are making a big deal about it, but
Mhm.
it's just a mask. They're like, well, if you go for the mask, then something else. They're like, everybody's duped.
Yeah.
I like how people feel like they're not duped.
Mm,
Like
mm,
we're all duped. We've all been duped. We've been duped before you had a chance to figure it out since we were babies.
mm.
Like whoever you're listening to, some of the things they're not telling you is correct. So just relax.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll wear a mask.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, people wear your masks.
Mhm.
Make sure you're wearing your masks. But yeah, man, we'll get into it. So, Ian, you're a Man United fan, unfortunately.
Uh,
You
I mean, unfortunately, because of the transfer window, or unfortunately, period.
what
Unfortunately, because of Crystal Palace loss on, like, what do you mean?
there's a lot of the stuff that you said, so it's a combination.
Mhm,
Unfortunately, because I'm an Arsenal fan, and we've been
mhm,
rivals for years. So the
uh-huh,
good old days when it used to be Man United and Arsenal at the top of the league, where
mhm,
the two giants have fallen off at the moment. And also, unfortunately, in terms of the results. Let's start with that. The Crystal Palace result. Are people actually over exaggerating? It's only one game. Are people over getting concerned over one game? What's your thoughts on that?
yeah, people always get people. It's like every weekend is like Christmas for, like, especially if like you're a European soccer fan. Like, you know, you'll see what Christmas Day is going to be about.
Mm.
When you open your gift under the tree, is there going to be a win? Is there going to
Yeah.
be a draw? Like a draw is like a pair of socks or underwear, or is there just going to be a lump of coal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and then based on that, you're emotional based on that result till
Yeah.
the next week. So based on that, everything is, nobody's looking at everything on the whole. Like, if you want me to be upset about the Crystal Palace result when we were 14 games undefeated in the league before that,
Yeah.
and it's like, so I'm not. A lot of people just forget that they're like a new season, but I'm not gonna forget that yet unless this becomes a pattern. But we have to win this weekend coming up, and I feel like we had to have won against Crystal Palace, but because we
Yeah.
didn't, I'm not gonna freak out. Like, there were some concerns. Like, I don't know why we didn't start Greenwood. I don't know why we didn't start Matic,
Mm.
because I just saw them play yesterday for Luton,
Yeah.
and I feel like the way we went out there, we should have just went out there with our starting team that we used at the end of last year after
Yeah.
Project Startup. Keep using those dudes, and then figure out a way how to throw Van de Beek in there, as
Mm.
opposed to like McTominay yet and Daniel James. And I feel like Daniel James is actually better after Greenwood is terrorized,
Yeah.
like,
Impact player.
that defense. Yeah, then you can throw in this fresh, really fast
He's
dude,
rapid.
rapid,
Mm.
like, in there. So I don't even, sometimes Ollie impresses me, and then sometimes he
Yeah.
baffles me. But
Mm.
I guess he's learning too.
No, for sure, for sure. And I think, do you know what it was? I think because I know there was a lot of question marks in terms of Greenwood, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think there was a mixture of obviously Project Restart, which was not too long ago. Do you know what I mean? And you got to remember the
Hmm.
team that United was putting out week in and week out was the same team. These boys hardly got any rest. And then on top of that,
Hmm.
we've had the international breaks and things like that where Greenwood's gone and he's been a bit of a naughty boy alongside
Hmm.
Phil Foden, which again, that's another story which I feel like the British media um, they just make too much of a meal of it, especially when it's
The media is like full of like jealous,
yeah.
unathletic people that didn't make it, and it's like they just it's just all for clicks, and it's
Yeah.
just all for like, and they just act so self-righteous, and they do that in American media. Like, and it's just like, relax. You actually can make the world better, and you're making it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
and you have no mercy on people. I guess it makes money, and that's what this is all about. But I'm sure some good shit could make money too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But why do you think that is though, Ian? Like, why do you think, like, as human beings, like, why do you feel that is what we're drawn towards? Like, it's just negative stuff.
I mean, when you watch a movie or a TV show, it involves drama, there's stakes,
Yeah.
you know, there's emotion.
Yeah.
But I think, like, we just keep thinking in the box. You gotta think out the box. And I'm sure there's beautiful things appeal to people. You know, like I go see beautiful things all the time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, and these people are concerned about their jobs, and they want to make sure that they get the clicks or the views or the reads.
Yeah.
So they're not taking the chance to just, I don't even think it's thinking out the box to come up with, you know, it's just like, why are you being hard on some 18-year-olds or 20-year-olds?
Like we ever made mistakes when we're 18.
Yeah. Like just the fact that they made the England squad is huge. So how is this thing bigger than that? You know?
And that's the thing though.
They're doing some 18-year-old shit.
You hit the nail on the head. They're doing some 18-year-old stuff.
Why are you upset they did some 18-year-old shit?
Yeah. No, for real. And but yeah, just to go back to that as well, like the Man United setup. I feel like regardless of the setup of how, you know, who was playing, I feel like there was enough players to get the result. Do you know what I mean? There was enough to get that result. But again, I kind of understand the Greenwood thing because there's been a lot of limelight in him. And it's like, you want to kind of take that away, that pressure to kind of perform straight away. And but then again, he put him on straight away after 45 minutes.
But right, I say if you put him in and he scores, it kills all that. Because winning wipes out everything. You know?
I agree.
You know, winning wipes out everything. So, you know, like there's been famous athletes like Kobe Bryant in trouble. Next day you go out and drop 87. You forget about what he was in trouble about. You know, it's like, and like winning wipes out everything. So it's like, just put him in, put Wan-Bissaka in, because like the cross that scored the goal came from the side of the field where he would have been if he was in the game, and he would have shut that down. That cross would have never went over there. So I saw all those guys play yesterday against Luton. So they're injured. They're not injured. They're fit. So I don't know. And then a part of why we lost is Ollie in his pre-game press conference was kind of insulting and complacent towards Crystal Palace. Like he talked like they already had the 3 points, and if that's how he was talking to his players in the locker room, then I could see why they weren't up for it, and they definitely weren't up for it. So I blame Ollie for that. And Crystal Palace, Redmond or Townsend, because I keep forgetting out which one is on which team. One is on Southampton, one is on Crystal Palace, and it's stripes, and it's confusing. Because to me they're similar.
Similar players,
similar players. But he said that he knew that Crystal Palace was game fit because they played last week, and they thought they would catch Man United off guard. Because Man United, you could tell they weren't at a Premiership pace.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you could tell like, oh, this is what the Premiership is like. Oh, snap. It felt like a rookie the whole team felt like a rookie in its first Premiership game ever. And a rookie that's going to be good, but has to realize, oh, this is what this is like. You have to get used to something before you can get better at it. And they were just off, you know.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. And speaking of Ollie as well, because Ollie's been harshly criticized. Well, I say harshly because last season, I think obviously you guys finishing where you did, he's obviously had an impact on that. You know, you guys finished third, 3 semi-finals, whether or not, you know, you guys made it to the final, but to achieve that is a good, you know, good standard for Ollie. I'd say for Ollie, not Manchester United, for Ollie, because I'm not a big fan of Ollie.
Right.
I don't feel like he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Manchester United manager. I feel like he's got the job because he's got friends there, so his friends got him through the door.
Mhm.
I can't see tactically what he does. I'm very skeptical about what he does. Again, I have arguments with my missus' brother because he's a Man United fan, and I say to
Right.
him as well, I can't see it because, I mean, again, as a football, I'm just saying as a football man, like if I look at Arteta and Ollie, there's a clear line where you could say, you know what, you could see what Arteta's doing, you could see what he's trying to implement, and as of now, we can see the successes of it. Now with Ollie, it's just like I feel like he's just like it's an emotional thing. He will bring that he will bring those good times. You talk about 1999, how they won the Champions League to Rashford, and bring those good vibes. But long term, I can't see it, Ian. Am I wrong?
Can't see it.
Am I wrong?
Well, first let me qualify my answer before I give it.
Okay.
Everything you said about Arteta is correct, and I see it. Even the first 3 games when he got there and the results weren't the results, I could see what he was doing. So then I was happy when he won the Charity Shield and the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So that people could know, oh, you could there's something to quantify, there's something tangible. So I spoken positively about Arteta on my podcast.
Yeah.
Like even yesterday, and I talked about I used the same words you said as far as I could see what he's doing, and you could feel it in all. It's almost as you watch it, you could feel it, even when the results aren't there, or like the West Ham game, your first game of the season, perfect. Like that's a game you would have lost last year
for sure,
or dropped points. And 10 minutes left in the game, I was like, this is time for Arsenal to show everything from Arteta got there. This is the 10 minutes to show that everybody that this is what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Nketiah scored.
Nketiah, yeah, Ceballos. Yeah, so after
a bunch of subs came in. Yeah. Oh yeah, after 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So then he scored, and it's like he's doing it. He signed Aubameyang. He even talked Aubameyang into signing. Because he said, do you want a legacy or you want trophies? You know, and Aubameyang said, I'll stay. And so he's got everybody willing to work, even the players that suck, like Xhaka, and they like. So here's
wait. Before no. Did you say Xhaka sucks?
Before, yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I agree with you. I think he had problems. He did have problems. I don't think he sucks like that. I think he's a well-experienced player for his age. He's 26, I believe now. So for what he's done, I feel like he's a good enough player. But I understand what you're saying. There was a period of time where he was not good enough for Arsenal. He probably wasn't good enough for LA Galaxy. He probably wasn't good enough for them. So, but but go ahead, bro. Sorry, I cut you off there.
But just the way that Arteta's turned players, like that you would consider, now you're like, we saw Xhaka get booed off the field, and take, so as far as Ollie, when Ollie got there, everything was in disarray, right? Just remember the disarray.
Yeah.
Remember that, and it wasn't a team, right? Now we have a starting 11. Now, and that took a season and a half to develop. But if you look at what United was before he got there, and what it is now, you have a starting 11 that can beat any team in the league. We didn't have that before,
for sure,
right? And a lethal, and he took the chance to put Greenwood in there. It's always a tough call to play a young person, you know, even if it's a given.
Yeah.
It's still, coaches just won't do it. And you look around the Premier League and you see our younger players from the youth teams going to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then like Man City, Jordan Sancho, give me. It's like, it's a layup.
Mm-hmm.
And Pep still was like, I don't know if we're going to play you. He goes somewhere else. So it's tough for people to play like a young player. And he did that. And the kid got results right away.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we got Van de Beek in now. And I know people want more results in the transfer market.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's not on Ollie. And so let's just focus on like a strong starting 11. Pogba was going to leave. He wants to stay.
Yeah, he wants to stay now.
So that's almost like a signing. We have Van de Beek. We have, I know Ollie doesn't get it right tactically all the time, but he's built us a starting 11. Like any coach could come here now and be like, I want to work with this from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't want to, so I do have tactical problems with Ollie, but he came in, got us defenders. Like he specifically,
Maguire,
overpaid, but we still finished third in defense in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Overpaid. I know. I don't think it's fair for Leicester City to charge that much because it's going to damage Maguire because he's going to have a tough time living up to that price. But they have to get what they want to get, and regardless, we've improved even despite the performance against Crystal Palace. You can't forget about the other performances. We have a stabilized team. We didn't have that before Ollie got there. And you have to think, if the board works with him, we're going in the right direction, just like in a different way than Arsenal is going. Arsenal's going in their right direction. We're going in our right direction. It's like we're just being stalled right now in the transfer market. And maybe there's some younger players that we have that we can bring up. We'll see. But I don't think Ollie's. I'm more pro Ollie than not.
Okay. I think it's like a. I think there's like a.
We have a style of play.
Yeah. You do. I think he's just brought back the Man United style. I just think he's brought back that. You know, he's been brought up from Alex Ferguson. You know, he looks at Alex Ferguson as his father. So I feel he brings back that Manchester United vibe. He brings all of that back. But for me, I just feel like long term, I can't see it, Ian. I don't know what, but I just can't see it. I thought he was going to go Christmas.
How long? How long we talking? How long a term? I mean, we finished third.
You did.
Like, you're happy. I
was surprised.
You finished 8th.
I'm not happy with that.
You're happy with your coach.
No. I'm not.
No, but you're happy with your coach.
Yeah. No, I'm happy.
And you finished 8th.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely happy with my guy. We finished third. When was the last time we finished third?
Yeah, long time. Well, I can't remember when last time we finished third as well. But my thing was, I wasn't able to make a full assessment on Arteta's performance on the league position for the fact that, you know, he's come into a whole huge mess. Like you said, when Ollie came in,
it's a mess.
It's a mess, complete mess. So
and you can see that he's straightened it out.
He has. He's ironed it out. A little bit. I still feel like, you know, there's certain games that I'm questioning him, especially the West Ham game. Like, you could clearly see we need a creative player. Like, we've got someone there, one of the best in the world. Okay, for the past couple of seasons or years, he hasn't been there, Ozil, but I still feel like the guy's got a lot to give. So why don't we play him? So I don't know whether that's Arteta or whether that's the board that's trying to just push him out so he can get the wage bill down and just get him off the wage bill. So, but yeah, I just feel like with Arteta, I feel this season is the season that I can fully give him a somewhat, you know, like judgment on him to see how he does. I feel like with the FA Cup win, I can't really make him a judgment out of that because it's just the whole season was a mess. You know, the whole pandemic kicked off and things like that. So anything could have happened. But this season, it's more so, you know, can we go through the whole season without any breaks, without anything? Let's see how he does then. So, you know, for Arteta, I feel like he's got time. But with Ollie, going back to Ollie, you said in terms about the board. you know, and we saw, you know, Patrice Evra, who came out and was public about, you know, the old Manchester United way and the new way, how they're kind of dealing with things. Like, do you feel if Ollie gets the right backing, and furthermore, do you feel like Ollie's going to get the backing from the board?
He's going to get as much backing as any of the last coaches got. So he has to keep his job by making whatever they give him work, you know, until they're encouraged. I know Man U doesn't want to spend the money for Jordan Sancho.
Yeah.
Because of coronavirus.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And I feel like Dortmund is asking for too much.
Yeah.
So I'm not like all the other Man U fans that want to spend all that money on one player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like there's got to be something they could figure out and find somebody that could, you know, this is a whole world of players, and there's people who aren't happy places. There's got to be a solution that I'm not thinking of. Like Donny Van de Beek wasn't a solution I was thinking about, but as soon as it happened, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So they got to figure out something like that for the right wing.
What positions would you bring in, Ian?
Say again?
What positions would you bring in? Like what? Because again, you know, I think with Donny, I think it was a good signing, but I just don't feel like that was the signing that you needed. I mean, it's good to have like a huge squad, but I would have gone for more of a centre back, a left back. I'm not a big fan of Luke Shaw, and a winger to kind of ease off the pressure of Greenwood a little bit. He's a young man, so can you bring somebody else on the right wing? What positions would you have brought in?
I would go right wing first.
Yeah. Okay.
Like people are saying defender, but I say right wing first because even the problem against Crystal Palace is we had the ball 70% of the time.
Yeah.
And we lost 3-1. So if we scored first or first and second, you know, like with a Dembele from Barcelona, used to be at Dortmund, or a Sancho, or just whoever.
What are you saying about Traore, bro? What about Traore? Do you like Traore?
Traore, yeah, I like Traore.
The gym man?
We take, yeah,
he's at the gym.
Like we'll take him. Yeah. I'll take him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I was just talking about that on the podcast yesterday. Like somebody brought him up, and it's like, yeah, to get him for 60 million pounds, right? And
you can get
straight.
Him for that,
and then sometimes he can rest Wan-Bissaka because he plays right back too.
Yeah, he plays right wing back.
Then so you get one player way less than Sancho. He could do Sancho's job. He's well-rounded. He could rest Wan-Bissaka, and I say do that. Like that's why I like the Donny Van de Beek move because he can play in several positions. So you don't have to. It's like he can play for Matic. He can play for Fernandes. He can play for Pogba. So and I feel like if you have more players like that, they'll always play just different positions, because to me it's like getting your most talented people on the field, and then you just have more money in your budget in case you need something. But Traore to me is better value at less money than Sancho right now. It's like if you can get the money, you just pay for him. The fans won't be. He's young too.
Yeah.
And he knows this league. Sancho still hasn't played in this league.
I agree.
And then when I see Sancho playing for Dortmund, he's Tokyo drifting around people, right? But I don't see him doing that when he plays for England, and that may be the coach's setup fault.
Yeah.
But there's got to be an alternative. So, like you said, that's the guy at Wolves. Good call.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what's your expectations for this season? Would you expect from United? What's a good season for you?
Definitely finish in the top 4 and win a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 4 and win a cup. Yeah,
What,
whether
Europe?
it's a FA Cup. FA Cup. We're not gonna win Champions League, so
Okay.
we'll take a FA Cup or a League Cup.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. Yeah. I feel it just comes down to who you sign. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's still the window transfer market's still open. I mean, you've
Hmm.
seen Liverpool right now they look strong now they've added Thiago. I think they're just a
Hmm.
different beast right now. What's your take on
Yeah,
them?
they had the perfect transfer window. Just
Yeah.
when you weren't even thinking about them,
Yeah.
and then I already thought they were solid anyway.
Mm,
But then they added what they added, and it's like, oh, that's well played.
yeah.
Like minimum the least amount of money, and they solved their problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they even had any.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they added the right somebody that has a title that can keep the rest of the team thirsty
Mm,
when they might take their foot off the brake.
mm-hmm.
Perfect.
No, for sure. And they added Jota as well from
And then
Wolves.
Jota is like, and it's like I was looking at the Jota deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does Zaha cost 80 million?
Yeah.
You know
Which
what I mean? Like if Jota costs what 30 something,
it was 40, well, 30, and then it will add up to about 45 million, including
right?
add-ons and everything.
So it's like why does Crystal Palace think they're gonna get 80
Yeah.
when somebody who scores the same amount of goals
Yeah. Yeah. Or more
is
sometimes.
goes or more goes
Yeah.
for like 40 something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's no way Zaha. Like Arsenal is thinking about buying Zaha, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like that's a huge mistake.
Yeah. So would you take Zaha to Man United? Would you take him back? Because obviously he's been at Man United before, but he got released because of apparently
His
with David
attitude,
Moyes.
his attitude is kind of It's not. It's too. I don't like his attitude on the field.
Yeah, he does moan.
Like it. Yeah, it's like yeah. I don't think he's there. There's a reason why I didn't make it at Man U. We already got
Yeah,
players at Man U right now
yeah.
that we need to get rid of. I don't want to buy a type of player we want to get rid of now.
You don't think he's matured a little bit since he left Man United?
Yeah, but not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, not enough. Like either he's not as to me, either he's not as talented as everybody says he thinks
yeah.
he is, because the numbers don't match
They
up
don't.
for the way
Yeah.
they rave about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he is as talented and he's not living up to his potential, which means his attitude ain't right. But
Yeah.
that is not good enough to come back to us. Like
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood has given you more in less amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Why do we need it? Zaha, yeah.
I feel like I definitely agree with you in terms of his numbers don't add up to what he does. I still feel like he's got a lot to learn as a player. Um, I feel like if he did go to Manchester United, I don't feel like he'll have that sort of behavior that he has. Well, no, he's not even a bad character. It's just on the pitch. You could see
Hmm.
sometimes the way he conducts himself is just like he's always moaning. He's always having a go at someone.
It's like almost like for attention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just want people who just want to get their attention from the results of on the field. And when I say results,
Mm,
like goals, assists, tackles, like yeah, everybody wants attention, right?
yeah, yeah,
But there's a right way to get attention and a cop out way to get it. And it's like if you're not doing what you could have done, if you worked as hard as you should have, you'll get the attention by I can always moan. I don't
hmm
want people that's like going to their second choice to get the attention that they want. I want them like full on like trying to get results, and
yeah.
that's how they get their attention.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, let's just see. Let's see what happens. But for you, who's winning the league? Who's winning as of now,
It's
from what
always
you've
going to be
seen?
between. It's always going to be between Liverpool and Man City.
Mm-hmm.
That's like let's see. You have to. It's too early. Like Liverpool, I'll say, I wanted to see how they started the league because I wanted to see if they still had the hunger from last year. So the last few games I saw them play at the end of Project Restart and the Charity Shield, they lost. So I was like, I don't know if they can turn the switch back on that they need to. But so it all depends on how long is this hangover going to last from winning. And they started the season well, 2 wins. So that's the only thing. But I like what they added this week.
Yeah.
That gives me more confidence in the hangover clearing up and them like going right back at it. So it's Liverpool and then Man City. They still have defensive problems. I don't think Ake is the answer.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how long every season Laporte is going to be injured.
He's injured, yeah.
They have the midfield and they have the scorers. So for defense, you just need defense in England. And then Chelsea got a lot of attackers, but they ain't got no goalkeeper. and they did fix some defense, but the Chilwell, is it Chilwell or Creswell they bought?
Chilwell.
Those two.
Chilwell. You get them mixed up as well, yeah?
Yeah. So he's injured. Thiago Silva, he's too old to impress me.
Yeah.
But I put them within 3rd and 4th, and Man U's 3rd and 4th. Arsenal could come 4th.
Yeah.
Like it's just not going to be easy. But you guys, Arsenal, you have all the personnel you need. Like you use the personnel you have. Man U has a lot of excess personnel that we can't use and we need to get rid of so we can bring in people that we can use.
Jones.
You guys you can rest players. You have players that can come on the field, whether you bought them, they came up through the academy, or they just been there. Like I feel like you have a lot of parts that you can use. I feel like the amount of parts we have is limited, and that might hurt us the way it hurt Leicester last season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree with you. I still feel like with Arsenal, we've got a lot of deadwood as well, Ian. To be honest with you, we've got a lot of deadwood. I know what you're saying in terms of you guys. Like you are not going to use Phil Jones this season. You are not going to use Chris Smalling this season. So I agree with you. I feel like with us, we can get away with using Mustafi and Chambers if he did come back into the setup. We could work with them guys. But I agree with you. I feel like the season's going to be a little bit more open than the usual. Liverpool adding Thiago for me. I think that's just a clear daylight win in the league. I think Pep is going to try to do something, but Aguero being injured for 2 months, apparently, I feel like that's going to hold them back a little bit. Even though I do feel like, going forward, they have enough. I just feel like Aguero is a different breed. He's one of the best ever to have ever played in the Premier League. And to miss that sort of caliber of player will have a huge impact on your team personally. So, yeah, I'm going for Arsenal to win the league, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'll be optimistic, but we'll see.
No pressure, Arteta. No pressure.
No, for sure.
You have a rational fan base. They don't expect too much.
No, for sure. No, but on a real note, I feel like with Arteta, if he can get a top 4, he's done a good job, considering the mess that's been at Arsenal for a long time. So
left him,
yeah, you know what I mean? So it's been mad. But what I wanted to touch on quickly, Ian, just in terms about yourself, so people can kind of understand where did your love come from football, and how did you become a Manchester United fan?
So my parents are Jamaican, but I was born in England. They were living there, and so all of us were born there. But then when I was like 9, moved to Jamaica, lived there till I was like 17. And, so it's so England, playing soccer from when I was a kid, watching the FA Cup on TV since I was a kid. And Jamaica, is a big soccer country, football country too. So, they used to have some Premier League games. Used to watch then. Spurs used to be on every Sunday. So I kind of liked Spurs then. Then when I was 17, moved to America. Then there was no football. Like I played in high school and I played after high school. But I was always playing too. So, from Jamaica, I used to play for this second division team. They had a first division team and a second division called Thunderbolts. That's in Spanish Town.
Okay.
And so I used to play for them, and moved to America, played in the high school there and tried out for the college team. There was no, so then when they started showing football on TV, like in America, like the Premiership, it was weird. It's like they had one channel that would start showing the highlights of all the European games. And so then I started getting back into like knowing what everything was through that. And then they started like actual showing like one game and then a highlights package of the Premier League. And then they started showing all the Premier League from like 20 years ago.
Wow.
And then that's when I like picked like Man U out of that.
The glory days.
It was like the right time. It was more than 20 years ago. It's like they started, it's like Beckham was there and Scholes and just, and then the story of the academy, the class of, 92. And you're like, the story of that just swept me up, because, I was watching the Arsenal games. I was watching the Chelsea games. I was watching the Man U games. I was watching Liverpool. Like, it's blasphemous to say this, but Gerald is one of my favorite players.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just as a player, because he plays like how I would like to live my life, or he played like that, like all out, creative, aggressive, and and defensive, attacking, defensive, creative, and it's like, who wouldn't want to live their life like that? So the way he like expressed himself on the field, I like to live my life like that. So I'll never. I love Man United, but it's not like I can't take a lesson from somebody else. From another team too. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I think Gerald is one of the greatest. Like growing up, seeing him score those goals, and and you try and emulate those goals, and going to the park and having 40-yard shots and shouting out Gerald, like so. It's for real. I agree with you in terms of Gerald. One thing he didn't do was he didn't win the Premier League, but and Jordan Henderson has.
Yeah.
So that's
right. That's another question I asked, like, to Liverpool fans. Who's your greatest captain now? Is it Gerard or Henderson still?
It has to be Henderson, bro.
It has to be, but I have a feeling it's Gerard. Henderson has done it. He's won the Champions League, which Gerard won, but he's won the Premier League, which Gerard hasn't done.
That's what I mean. It's hard. I feel as a Liverpool fan, Gerard coming from Merseyside and everything like that, you're gonna say Gerard because he's coming from that area. But if we're looking at stats and numbers, which everyone these days are going by, you gotta say Henderson. He's been the best captain Liverpool's ever had. He's won the Premier League. He's won the Champions League in this day and age as well. I'm not talking about the days where Liverpool were dominant with Kenny Dalglish and things like that. In this day and age where you've got Messi and Ronaldo on this planet who are aliens, that you're still, you're up there. So yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting topic to have, and I'm kind of surprised as well that you picked United. I understand, the class of '92, but as a black man coming from Jamaica as well, I thought you would have been supporting Arsenal because of Ian Wright.
Because of what, Wright?
Ian Wright, yeah.
Nah, but York and Cole were at Man U at that time too.
True.
Yeah. And just the whole package was just more attractive than, I just like felt my heart. And I didn't say I'm gonna pick a team. It's just eventually you just feel yourself drifting and this loyalty, to this one team, but when you're watching all of them, it's just organic.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I hear you. And
like you pick your team the way you pick your wife. You know what I mean? You let love talk. You know.
No, for real, man. So how do you kind of, obviously now it's probably a bit better, but like watching the Premier League and keeping up to date, especially like in America and a different, time difference and things like that. How do you kind of keep up with things like that? Because I'm sure some games are like 4 a.m. in the morning or something.
4 a.m., 4:30 in the morning, yeah.
Are you
And
getting up for
especially
those?
since I'm a comic, yeah. And
Yeah.
especially since I'm a comic, so
Yeah.
I'll get in the house like 1 a.m.
Yeah. How you managing
You
that?
know what I mean? It's tough. Sometimes like I'll doze off during the game. I have to like rewind it, or sometimes I'll make it through one, but then not the other. But then I'm up for the other one. So because sometimes it's 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Then I'll just go back and look at the highlights or rewatch the part. Or sometimes I'll just get some rest, wake up late because they record on the DVR, and then I'll just watch them.
Okay.
And I just tell people, because some people follow the podcast and they start talking about the game right then and there. So I have to like not look at their thing and say, "Hey, man, I didn't get to it yet," or yeah.
No, that's wild. But it's good though that, again, it just shows the passion that you have for the game and, just keeping up to date with things. So, and speaking about American, obviously, they call it soccer over there. I don't know why. Well, why do they call it soccer over there? Do you know why?
It's probably, I'm just gonna go off. I looked it up a long time ago, but I forgot.
Yeah.
But I'm just going off the fact that it sounds like the name some person's kid came up with. You know, a kid going like, like you socked it. You socked the ball.
With your socks.
With your foot. Yeah, just socks. Yeah. So it sounds like, but
how's
yeah,
it
I guess
developing
because you
over there?
kicked the ball. It's coming along, man. There's
Yeah.
the Major League Soccer, which is our version of the Premier League,
Yeah.
and there's this local team. When I say local, it's like 3 train stops away on the metro. Like I live, they play downtown. I don't live far from downtown, LAFC, and the atmosphere is live. Like if you go on my Instagram and look at like some of the stories that I've saved, and you'll think like I'm in Europe.
Okay.
Like when the atmosphere, they just did it right. And I just become an instant fan of the LAFC.
Yeah, no, man, they're doing huge things, and obviously Galaxy's been around for a long time as well. But yeah, I would love to. I haven't come to see a MLS game yet, but to be honest with you,
when you come out.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. That to be honest with you, that was gonna be my plan for this summer, was to come out to LA and watch these games, because yeah, man, I like, already, America, once they get their hands onto something, they're gonna double excel it. So with football, soccer over there, it's only growing. You could see already. I know in the past they've had players, like huge players with big names, that have gone over there. But even now, you've seen the likes of Higuain, Matuidi, that's gone to Inter Miami.
To Miami,
you know what I mean? So I feel it's growing. But are young people playing it over there? Is it
I
quite
think
huge?
it's growing for sure. Like soccer is a sport, like it's like softball.
Okay.
Like you don't know any professional softball players, but everybody plays it when they're younger.
Yeah.
They just grow out of it. But I think more people are staying in it. And there's a league, and we just need time.
Yeah.
And players, like, if you look at, there's so many young Americans playing in the Bundesliga now. One of them just went to Juventus and was being coached, started. Pirlo's coaching him, telling him what to do. He's passing the ball to Ronaldo. He's like 20 years old. I think it's Weston McKennie.
Yeah, McKennie,
and it's like, or McKenzie. And it's like that's how far. And there's the one other American kid plays for Leipzig.
Yeah.
Pepe Reina just scored for Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah. He's good. Pulisic
Yeah,
is at Chelsea.
yeah,
He might be their best player.
yeah, he's the
So
face.
yeah, so yeah, man, it's like the sport. Just it's great to see like American players playing in legit leagues on legit
Yeah,
teams around the world, and it's like why not? It's just from where it came from
yeah,
to where it's going, the possibilities.
yeah, yeah.
That's it's some beautiful shit to watch.
No,
And
for sure.
I still don't watch the MLS as much because it's hard to watch the leagues where as soon as a player gets good,
He
they
goes.
go to Europe.
Yeah.
Europe. That's like I'd rather just watch where they're gonna go because I have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So
true.
I'm gonna catch up with you anyway.
Yeah. We're
Like
gonna buck up. We're gonna buck up along the
yeah,
road.
we're gonna buck up down the
Mm.
road. Yeah, you
Yeah.
come meet me. This is where I'm at. This is
Yeah.
my pin. My pin
Mm-hmm.
is in Europe. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
If
hit
you,
me when you're there.
if you land in the Premier League, I'll know about you.
Yeah, I know about you. If you
Yeah.
the Bundesliga or Champions League or if you're in La Liga,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
see you. You know.
For sure, for sure. And with all the facilities, obviously in America is huge. Do you feel over time with the right coaching and you just named a few players there that are doing big things in Europe, do you feel eventually America has the capabilities of winning a World Cup?
Yeah, but it might be a while
Yeah.
because you know soccer is something where you know everywhere in the world is improving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
even the teams that are used to winning, they know what they're still competitive and they're still
Yeah.
trying to improve. So it's like we just got a lot of catching up to do with people who aren't slowing down.
Mm.
It's hard to catch up with people who aren't slowing down.
Yeah.
Like nobody's like no in Germany they're not resting on their laurels. Like in Brazil they're struggling to get back. You know,
Yeah.
so
No worries, bro.
yeah. So, but I think just having a good team that maybe 20 years we could win something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like, again, I understand what you're saying in terms of those huge nations like Germany, Spain, and things like that. I
Hmm.
feel like with the facilities, because that's a huge important role, like
Hmm.
facilities and developing and things like that. And again, the league of MLS just growing and having the
Hmm.
likes of these big players coming in when Ibrahimovic was coming in, obviously Beckham being an owner, things like that. I
Hmm.
feel like it's going to improve the coaching, it's going to improve the players, and yeah, like you said, I think it might take a little time.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. To be honest with you, I'm just loving the progression of the MLS, and it feels like it's growing so quick. There's like
Hmm.
every other day there's a new franchise coming out.
Right, right. It's like this is why this is the progress. This is how I judge the progress of like American football or soccer.
Mm,
It's like I went to a bar to watch the Women's World Cup final.
yeah,
You know, and America won,
yeah,
and they won. Everybody celebrated in the bar, and you walk outside the bar. There was no cheering in the streets or nothing. It was the moment was over.
yeah,
Let's keep it moving. And I don't know it's a Women's World Cup,
yeah.
but like in another country where they win the Women's World Cup, they're
They're
celebrating
celebrating.
all week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're celebrating like it's the Men's World Cup. Like we can't. It was like after that moment in the bar, you walk outside, you didn't see a car drive by waving a flag or nothing. It was just over.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
weren't in that bar,
Like
you
what
didn't
happened?
know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
and just anybody at home, but there's no remnants of that
mm,
afterwards. And that's where that's how you measure the progress. But one thing about this country and soccer is like I know soccer's growing because America only highlights its sports,
yeah.
the ones that it invented, and on a major channel every weekend, the Premier League, a league from another country, a sport from another country is being broadcast as if it's an American sport.
Okay.
So that's progress,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's not slowing down. It's building people like American football players, like the game of American football, watch it and they tweet in.
Yeah, I've
and
seen.
they show those tweets on, you know, like LeBron owns a part of Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and the American soccer players, I mean, the British soccer players and the European soccer players, wherever they're from, whatever country they're from, like Neymar's and all that stuff, they're friends with the basketball players now and the NFL players. So yeah, man, it's like, it's growing for sure.
It's kind of like the cool thing. Do you feel like, is that kind of like, these athletes, especially when I see
It's
Odell
not
Beckham.
nerdy no more.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, you couldn't brag about playing soccer when I moved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You play it on the low, and then put on your baseball outfit to get there.
Yeah.
Change into soccer play, and then put on an NFL jersey and walk home. So people don't know you went to play soccer at the park. Yeah.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Yeah, man. I think we're seeing the emergence of, obviously, like you said, LeBron's got shares in Liverpool. Obviously, even did Kobe have some shares in some clubs?
He might have.
I think because I know he's a huge AC Milan fan, and because he was living in Italy, you know, in his younger days. So, yeah, man, I feel it's growing. Like I said, you know, you see Odell Beckham. I see him tweeting, was it Aubameyang or something like? You know, both of them are flamboyant with their swag, and you know what I mean. So you could see where, but yeah, no, it's good to see. It's definitely good to see, and it's good to see that it's growing there in America, and hopefully we're seeing more younger kids and playing the sport, man. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna just take it off a little bit off topic. I had a question for you, specifically for my brother. Shout out Clydie.
Oh yeah.
He's a big fan of yours.
All right.
He said that he's seen you post up about a documentary production about Patrice O'Neill. He's a huge fan of Patrice O'Neill as well. He wants to know what was Patrice like, and any information on the documentary when it's coming out.
I think All Things Comedy is producing a documentary.
Okay.
So I don't know. The coronavirus slowed a lot of things down. So I don't know, but Patrice was like fun, man. It's like, just, you know, we just all kick it and just laugh, and he's just hilarious. He's not afraid to go there on any topic, to at least talk about it and explore it and try to find the humor in it. And then he thought out the box, which kind of like rewired my way of thinking about things too, to like just not just look at something plainly, like there's other sides to it. So it made me like start thinking about exploring those other sides. And a weird thing about Patrice is like he knew everything. Yeah, like if you ask him a question, and when I say anything about like social science, about people, you know, like, you know, relationship problem, this problem or that problem, he had the answers. So he weirdly had the answers.
He was the Google before Google.
Yeah. And not on like, you know, what does this mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Just breaking down like
real stuff,
a scenario, real life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep, man. That's deep, bro.
So it was good to have that around for free.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It's
access to that info.
No, it's important to have good people, man. It's important to have good people around you, and especially when you're in the industry that we're in, and especially in the industry that you're in as well, is you're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna try and pull over something over you. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and he wouldn't lie to you. So if the answer was bad, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean?
No, wicked, man. Wicked.
So when the answer was good, you could believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. So yeah, there you go, Clydie. That's That's your
Yeah,
birthday
Clyde.
present.
Happy birthday, Clyde.
There you go, man. There you go. You got your happy birthday shout out from the big man. So, but yeah, man. Ian, bro, I'd love to get you back on again and just
All right, for sure. Anytime, man.
we'll wrap it up and then we'll just talk about again Man United, Premier League. Just love to talk about football, man. And I
All right,
know
yeah, for sure.
I could see you're a huge soccer fan. Let me not say football. But yeah, man. Again, appreciate it. Much love, bro. And yeah, guys, make sure you go and check out Ian's stuff if you haven't already. And yeah, peace. Thanks,
All right,
bro.
peace, brother. All right, thanks. All right.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, be good
Appreciate it.
out there. All
No,
right.
for sure, man. For sure.